we will get there. Until then, we're diving in. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our purple Zerg player representing the Platinum Heroes. Ooh, it is YoungYakov. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player representing Team Twisted Minds. It is Shameless. Here we go. PvZ is upon us again. YoungYakov is the final Zerg player of the tournament. At the same time, though, Shameless is also the final Protoss player of the tournament. Only one will be represented in those grand finals, as both of the other competitors in the lower semis are Terran players. So we have a Terran confirmed, but will it be Zerg or Protoss? Yet to be determined. Coming into this, YoungYakov, I would have said, is the favorite player, but Shameless has actually defeated YoungYakov in some of these tournaments, in some of these big online events in the past. So I think it's going to be close. I'm hoping for an ace match. I'm still leaning towards YoungYakov. Shameless is still on the rise, but we'll see. We'll see how this all comes together. For now, Hatch Gas Pool. Standard opener here by YoungYakov. Hatch Gas Pool into the unnatural. Natural, unfortunately, was denied that natural base. So the early game is going to be a little bit more uncomfortable for YoungYakov. Just a bit. Meanwhile, Shameless getting to his own gate expand. Meanwhile, as we get ready for Oceanborn, Oceanborn is known for its aggression. It's known for Zerg players going all in. We've seen a lot of 3-base play in ZvP over the past year of StarCraft on Oceanborn. And we'll see if YoungYakov is one to embrace that. The last time we casted a PvZ on Oceanborn today, we saw Rebellion go into Glaive Adepts, right? We saw Rebellion be the aggressor instead, the Protoss player against the Zerg of YoungYakov. YoungYakov was more the responder or the reacting player instead. And we'll see what Shameless has in store for us as well. And we've been seeing a lot of Glaive Adepts, but I don't know if Shameless is really one to embrace that. Now is going to be going for the Stargate back at home. Stargate opener out of Shameless. I see the chat. Will Yaku win the raffle for the 7th time in a row? Did you say Yaku? Did you say Yakov? Same person? Did Yaku change his ID just so he can earn 5 USD? True. YoungYakov confirmed? Aye. It's possible. The raffle is rigged. True. Hashtag rigged in the chat. The first step is going to be threatening a shade into the main. Is going to be keeping tabs on YoungYakov. Meanwhile, back in the main base, we do have our Stargate, and we have our unit of choice. It's going to be an Oracle opener for our Protoss player. Now, we don't have WCS game hearts, so we're going to have to count. We have to count our losses here. Count how many drones go down. So far, nothing major. YoungYakov is keeping up. Adept's going to be pulling back. Third base soon to be on the way. We're not delaying the third for any kind of tech structure, which would be a sign of Glaives. We're just going straight for that Nexus. Ooh, as the Adept gets surrounded. A nice catch at a YoungYakov. 2 Adepts go down, and that will leave the third base vulnerable. Yeah, Lings are on the way. The Oracle forced to stay back at home. You can see the Dominators falling one after the other. You lose the Adepts, you lose control of the third base. Oracle has to activate its Pulsar Beam. And even though we don't deny the third, we force the Oracle to stay back at home and to waste its energy. So very nicely done here by YoungYakov. Oh, the overcharge does roll the overcharge. The Pulsar Beam does run out. We force the second Oracle to spend its energy as well. And the Lings are still alive, they're still active, they're still applying pressure to this third base, keeping an Oracle back at home. And more Lings are on the way. Aye. Again, usually with an Oracle opener, you're able to harass across the map, you're able to pick off drones. Able to apply pressure, but not here, not against YoungYakov, investing so heavily into these Lings, and we're not done. Once again, the Pulsar Beam is going to be cancelled. Third Oracle has arrived. More Lings making it in, and we're going for the cancel. We're going for the third. We're committing. Ooh, that was a kill. No shot. That was a kill, not a cancel on the Nexus. 400 minerals. No shot. 400 minerals down the drain. Ay, ay, ay. Not like this. And we're still not done. We're coming back in. And Shameless has had enough. Okay, now we have adepts. Now we have a good adept count. Ooh, they're going to get surrounded, but we should clean this up. But the oracles, they turn back around once again. At this point, YoungYakov needs to calm down. We need to drone up, of course, keep up with these adepts as we're shading across the map. And now Shameless has had enough. It's time to counterattack. Let's get a nice engage. 1, 2, 3 adepts get picked up. Shameless has still yet to push out across the map. Hasn't been able to harass at all since the early game. Has been stuck at home the entire time. Now YoungYakov is down in workers because of all these lings, but with the delayed third, it's pretty good damage. With the killed third, I should even say. Oracles dive into the natural base. Spore out of position. Did have to re-burrow. It's going to be 5 worker kills. Adept shading into the third. Getting even more damage done. Very necessary damage here for Shameless. YoungYakov, his drone count was already low. It's getting even lower. That's going to be 8 drone kills. And the oracles are still active. Third base is now done. Shield battery's on the way. Stalker's getting in position. YoungYakov going to try and apply some pressure. Shield battery is a little bit late, which is concerning. Slings are diving in. They're going for the surround. Oh, they get on top of the Stalkers. Stalkers are under fire. Oracles, they're racing back home. But the Stalkers will fall. Oh, we get both Stalkers. We get an Adept as well. Oof. Yeah, 2 Adepts get picked up. The Stalker kills were something that was a little bit more substantial. But Shameless is now fully operational. May have lost some units, but he keeps his worker count safe and sound. 65 probes to the 62 drones of YoungYakov. We have Blink on the way, +1. Temple Archives for Archons and Storm. 4th base on the way. Shameless is stabilizing. Despite the killed Nexus, Shameless is stabilizing. And YoungYakov, economically, is not where he would like to be. Is turning up as best he can. Getting into Roach play. Hydra Den is done. Interesting, so we're committing into Roach Hydra. Or maybe even just Ling Hydra. Do threaten the third base. Regardless, the game is calming down a little bit. Despite how aggressive YoungYakov was, the game is subsiding. Our players are stabilizing, getting into their economies, getting into the mid game. Link is done. Go avoid those files. It's only a handful of Links trying to focus on those Ravagers. Clutch transfuse out of YoungYakov. No! Oh, bit of miscontrol, bit of mispathing there from Shameless. Leads out a Stalker. And it looks like even another. 2 Stalkers go down. Not just 2, we're going for another. Up! 2 managed to catch that 3rd Stalker. Nice bait from YoungYakov. Stasis Trap does nothing, and YoungYakov so quick to move out. Oh! The file's not quite connecting. Storm is still seconds away. Storm will shut down this army. It's so fragile. We have Ravagers, Lings, and Hydras. Storms will be ideal, but we dive on top of the High Templar. 1 High Templar gets picked up. We have 4 left. We get an Oracle as well. Oh, trying to target them down, but the Storm is done. Yeah, the Storm rains down on the Hydras. We have 1 Storm left, but that's a lot of army. That's a lot of Ling Hydra. We dive on the High Templar. Up! Up! Can we get one? Not quite. Another final Storm. Archons are morphed in. But it looks like YoungYakov, he has too much. He's snowballing out of control. A very decisive push here from YoungYakov. Shuts down the Archons. Kites back against the Zealots. 4th base under fire. Probes are falling left and right. And it looks like Shameless may just barely hold on with this warp in. But these were some rough losses. Look at the units lost tab. That was 2 Archons, a High Templar, 17 probes as we lost every worker at the 4th base. Probes are transferring. We catch the Immortal. We're out of range of the shield battery. Overcharged, being popped, but too little too late. GG gets called, and YoungYakov takes game number 1. Whew. GG. Whew. GG, well played. YoungYakov does take the first game here. Again, doing a great job at just applying so much pressure so early on. And we're getting ready for our next game. Getting to our next game. It's going to be on Goldenora. Let's go. Goldenora is going to be coming up next. Again, just a very aggressive game out of YoungYakov, and Shameless things very quickly escalated out of control, right? With the Lings flooding across the map, with the Adepts going down, with the kill on the Nexus as well, with the kill on the Stalkers. Like, YoungYakov was just so in Shameless's face, and Shameless just had no room to breathe. Barely any room to breathe that game. It was wild. And now we're getting into game number 2. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Goldenora, we have our purple Zerg player representing the Platinum Heroes, leading the series 1-0. It is YoungYakov. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the blue Protoss player representing Team Twisted Minds. Down in the series, looking to bounce back, it is Shameless. Casting light, observing light, hosting light, producing. True. I mean, sometimes we do have, like, for example, yesterday Kuro was handling the production, for example, for the second half of the House Galactic battle. So sometimes we have our own dedicated observer at times as well. Or for WTL, I don't observe, which is why I don't have that set up for WTL. It is Moku. Shout out to Moku, the WTL observer. Whenever we do cast World Team League. Much love. As YoungYakov is going for a Hatch Gas Pool standard opener out of YoungYakov. This time is not forced to take a more strange or more uncomfortable base. We'll expand where he so chooses. Sponsor Rage Shadow Legends. Smurge. One day we'll get some sponsors. One day. When we're big enough. We'll get that, what am I thinking of? Honey sponsor? I don't know. Rage Shadow Legends? What's the other one? Audible? One day. For now, just standard builds, standard starts. We are going to be settling in. And we'll see how Shameless adjusts here to YoungYakov. Because of what occurred in the last game, because how aggressive YoungYakov was, I would not be surprised if maybe even Shameless is more conservative with his first 2 Adepts. And maybe is just a little bit more careful with them as well. We are sending out our first Adept, but I'm referring to when Link Speed kicks in and when we pull back. Link Speed is on the way. First Adept moves out across the map. We saw that everything escalated out of control when Shameless did lose those 2 Adepts. And did leave his third base vulnerable. Shameless is moving out. Headed towards the natural. Looking to shade in. But does commit to the shade, actually. Gonna, catch a Ling. Not bad. One Ling goes down. We don't lose any hull damage yet. We don't sustain any hull damage yet. So do get out of there. And there it is, 14 Lings on the way. It's the same kind of playstyle. The goal here for YoungYakov is to catch the Adepts and to threaten the third. As 16 Lings are in production. My god. That's a lot of Lings. That's a lot of Lings, papi. Shameless back at home. Looking to expand. The Adept is racing back. So this time we are being a little bit more careful with our Adepts. We're racing back to that third base location. Lings are moving out. Link Speed kicks in. Yeah, we're going straight for the third. The third yet to be placed. We're going for the surround. We do catch 1 Adept. 1 Adept, is picked off. Oracle has arrived, forcing the Pulsar Beam. Third base yet to be placed. No, we do deny the third. We get another surround as well. The Adept falls. The probe does. And the second probe as well. We do delay that third base for so long. At least this time there's no kill, because there is no third. And how does Shameless respond? We have 2 Oracles. We can try to shoo this away. 10 more Lings in production. YoungYakov just being hyper aggressive here. There we go. They're flooding across the map. Shameless is being contained. Back at home, spores are on the way. 1 spore for each base. We have queens as well. Roach 1 gets thrown down. And now we can start droning. Once again, another surround of the adepts. Not like this. 2 adepts, they get shut down immediately. And all Shameless wants to do is expand. Here we go. He's forced into a Twilight Council, into a Forge, into 2 more gateways. This does feel like a delayed response. But again, Shameless did want to take a 3rd. And now we're taking up towards +1, and I imagine Blink, the Overlord Scout, will confirm this. Very important here that we get eyes on what comes next. The Forge is to tell that it should not be Glaives. Could be Charge. As Lings dip in, they get another worker. That's 3 perps going down. Hello Fresh, that's what I was thinking of. NordVPN. God, what's another one? What's the... Dollar Shave Club, that's it. Dollar Shave Club. How you get it? So Oracles are looking to dip in, catching a couple of drones. Oh, 2 workers going down, a 3rd drone as well, not bad. But Queens are in position, and we do contain these Oracles. We forced them out. No! We overextended. Oracle gets picked up. Oracle goes out at the same time. Oracle into the main. Adepts a shade in towards that 3rd base into the natural. Yeah, just hyper aggression here out of Shameless. Drones are going down, but Roaches have arrived. So far, nothing major. Only 6 drone kills so far. But we do slip into the main. We're able to target down a couple more workers. As the Adepts do shade out. 9 drone kills in total, but it did cost us an Oracle. That wasn't bad. But the Lings are looking to punish these Adepts. Oracle's taking a lot of hits. The Adepts will make it back home. But the Lings, they're coming. And what do we have to defend? The Adepts, they're exposed! The cannons are finishing up. Shield battery on the way. Lings, they flood in. Oh my god. We collapse here on top of the Adepts. 2 Adepts go down instantly. The cannon does finish up in time, and we have the Oracles to support. Despite that, the ground army is crumbling. Roaches, they're flooding on in. Yeah, the ground army falls. Oh, we even get a surround on the Stalker. Not like this. We have Blink. No, we went for Charge. No Blink. We're going for the Artosis pylon, and the pylon is picked up. We depower the gateways, depower the Cyber Core, catching another Stalker. And behind this, YoungYakov is amassing an army. More Roaches, more Lings. YoungYakov is also in the water, going for Swarm Host. That I was not expecting. My apologies, I did miss the infestation pits, but Swarm Hosts are on the way. I mean, Swarm Hosts are a really good way to deal with charge lots. That is when we see them most. Again, YoungYakov just all over Shameless. Just going for the 4th phase. Shameless cannot engage. We do force a cancel. And so, yeah, we can just kite our hearts out here against these Zealots. Not quite picking them off. We're just buying time. We're buying time for the Swarm Hosts. They're coming. They're coming, fam. As we're bleeding out a couple of Roaches here. Again, the Immortal and the Archon putting in a lot of work in the back line. But we do already have 9 Swarm Hosts on the field. Soon to be 11. 11 Swarm Hosts. And because Shameless is contained, we can try to go for the 3rd base, we can go for the 4th, we can try to bust into the main and pick off some tech structures, or even go for the main army. Where are we headed? Swarm Hosts have arrived. Shameless does get eyes on this, and we go for the dive. We're going for the main army. We do have a storm. We do have storms available, and we do connect here with the Locust Wave. Not a bad use of the storm. We do survive the first wave. Doesn't get too much done. Station Trap is going to be triggered. Here comes a second Locust Wave going straight for the High Templar. Very nice target firing. The High Templar, they're getting picked up. One after the other. We force in the Archons. Immortal goes down. YoungYakov, very extending for a moment there, but that was still worth it. Catching all those High Templar was massive. And that Locust Wave is about to reset. There's just a couple more seconds. Locust Wave is coming back in. We catch the Archon. We get a full surround. And here we go. The Swarm Hosts, they're ready for Wave 2. They're ready for round number 2. Shameless trying to stabilize on 4 bases. YoungYakov cutting workers at 69. Nice. And pushing in. Do we have any storms? We have 3 more High Templar. We do have a couple of storms. The splits. We do attempt to split the army. Massive storm on the Roach Ravager, but it's Roach Ravager. We can tank a storm. There's 1 High Templar left. We need a little bit more time for that energy. There we go. The final storm for Shameless. And the Roach Ravager does sit in it. A lot of Roach Ravager goes down. Yeah, big Warden of Zealous, and it looks like we're barely holding on. But really, I'm just waiting for the 3rd wave of Locusts. The Queen gets shut down, the Roach Ravager as well. Swarm Host in a couple of seconds are ready for another wave. And what do we go for? We're going for the Immortal. Going for the Immortal, going for the Zealots. Yeah, we engage with the army. And Shameless has lost all of his high-tech units. Has rebuilt some of those High Templar. Another Immortal gets caught. Oof. No long for this world. Ling slipping into the natural. Ravagers morphing in. And the Soulmost need a couple more seconds for another wave. And again, Shameless, he's just been up against the wall this entire time. Barely holding on, barely surviving. And YoungYakov just refuses to let up. Refuses to stop. Big storms! Oh my god. It's a very nice storms here on the Roach Ravager, but again, it's still not going to be enough to stop the main bulk of the army. Oh, I say that. We did clean up the Locust wave. Not bad. Shameless, we're holding. We're surviving. 4th base getting up and running. We did lose a big chunk of workers, though. 20 probes did go down throughout the course of this game. And now we're taking. We're forcing YoungYakov to take up. He's droning. We have the infestation bit. Sorry, the infestation bit is done. Hive is done. Working towards the Lurker Den. Working towards upgrades. With that Hydra Lurker Viper. Shameless weathering the storm, but now we're finally going for some economic damage. Diving on the Nexus. And it only lasts a couple of seconds. It only takes a couple of seconds, but the Nexus goes down. A massive pick off for YoungYakov. Nexus does fall. And now Shameless, he's knocked down to 3 bases. Has been building up the Immortal counts. There's on now 3 Immortals. So Hydras have arrived. We finally have some anti-air. We shut down those Oracles. Archons and Storms are amassing. Like, the army of Shameless isn't looking too bad. It's just the quantity. It's just the size of the army is what's struggling here. Struggling to keep up with YoungYakov, as now we're getting into Lurker tech. The Lurkers have arrived. Lurker range finishing up in a couple of seconds. Soul Hosts do spawn in. They pop out of the Nidus. They distract Shameless here on the right-hand side, and here comes the army towards the left. Storms again not looking too bad. It's a lot of damage dealt on those Ravagers. But the Lurkers have burrowed, and there's just no pushing into this. There's no way for Shameless to defend this base. I say that, the Storms once again pretty good. They do connect. But there's still so many Lurkers behind this. The base goes down. We do have detection though. We're getting on top of the Lurkers. Expensive losses here for YoungYakov. And it bleeds out how many? 5 Lurkers. 5 Lurkers go down. But now we're going for the other Nexus. We're going for the base. And I'm not too sure we can save it. We do pop the overcharge. Oh my god, we barely keep it alive. Shout out to the overcharge. Able to just top up those shields. Barely keep Shameless in this. But YoungYakov is still maxed. YoungYakov is still maxed out. And again, if it wasn't for these storms, Shameless would have fallen long ago. Like, we've had some very valuable storms here for Shameless. YoungYakov has had a hard time splitting against it. But the problem here is the economy and the momentum that YoungYakov has. Spine shots going off. Protection is available. One of the Lurkers going down. At the same time, Zelarama on the right-hand side. Drones are getting picked up. Shameless fighting back. Let's go. Shameless refusing to give up. Go base on the way. But here come the Vipers. The Vipers coming in to help support that Lurker tech. The goal here of the Vipers is to yoink and shut down the Immortals, as the Immortals do pose a big threat to the Lurkers. So YoungYakov can pull that up. Meanwhile, Shameless, he's stabilizing on a 4-base economy, 68 workers, full saturation at his 3rd and his 4th. If Shameless is given a little bit of time, he can recover as he's catching Hydras. Very valuable trade here. Trading out Zealots for Hydras, Minerals for gas, and so many Hydras going down. Big pickup. At the same time, we do run into the main army. Storms are thrown down. Oh, they collapse here on the Hydras. Yeah, Colossus. Lurkers are going down one after the other. Big catch here. YoungYakov plummets in supply. Losing Hydras and Lurkers on the right and left-hand side. And Shameless? He's in this. Like, these are some big fights. And Shameless is clawing his way back into this 5th base on the way. YoungYakov. Maybe tunnel visioning a little bit too much earlier. Maybe throwing away a little bit too much. And again, the Vipers are ready, but where are the Lurkers? That's the problem. I spoke earlier about how these Vipers are designed to support the Lurkers, but there are no Lurkers to support. They're just now spawning in. We catch a couple of Archons. Archons are going down. Do pick up a High Templar. Storms are spent. YoungYakov holding the line. But that lead that YoungYakov once had, it's still there, but it's not as large as it once was. Like, Shameless does have a chance in this game. Taking the 5th base. Gold is on the way. Not saturated yet. Running into the Lurkers. That is towards the northern side of the map. Zealots being sent over to harass that mineral line. Oh, we're going for the fight, but no Storms available. Yeah, Storm's a little bit too far back. Feedback's coming in. We yoink the Immortals, but big Storms on the Hydras. At the same time, mineral line is under threat. Zealots are going ham on those drones. Yeah, drones falling left and right. At the same time, here comes the Locust Wave towards the north, forcing the recall. But we recall to do what? To deal with the Locust Wave and to clean up the Nidus. The Swarm hosts do escape. But you know what? Suddenly, Shameless has a worker lead. 74 workers, oh, sorry, 75 drones of YoungYakov. Shameless does have the better economy. YoungYakov needs to saturate this gold. But the lurker count is getting higher. No Skytoss yet. Now, this ground army of Immortal Archon can deal with a low amount of lurkers, but how many lurkers do we have? 13. 13 lurkers. With the help of those 2 Vipers, I do want to give the edge to YoungYakov. Yeah, lurkers, they do burrow. And we kind of push into this. Locust Wave here on the left-hand side, headed for the Nexus. Going for the mineral line, actually. Ooh, that's a lot of probes falling. 10 plus workers going down. Ay, ay, ay. So that round by was deflected. Did attempt to push in. Honestly, in this moment where both players are kind of taking a moment to breathe, I would love to see a Fleet Beacon. Like a Fleet Beacon and a second Stargate and getting ready for Skytoss. I think now is a decent moment for that. Shameless does have the money, but I mean, he also isn't maxed out, to be fair. Like, he does need to focus on surviving, true. It is a tough call to make. So Ramai does get across the map. Lurkers wedging themselves in between the 5th and the 4th. Ooh, big spine shows up. The High Templar! No! 3, 4, every High Templar goes down. Oh my god. The Storms have been keeping him in this game, keeping Shameless in this game, but every High Templar falls. YoungYakov out positioning Shameless. And now we're going in. We're pushing forward. Oh, more High Templar go down. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, one bad fight is all it takes. The base goes down. Shameless was looking to bounce back here, but that was a massive trade. A massive fight in favor of YoungYakov. Catching all the High Templar, killing the Northern Nexus. I wanted to believe that Shameless could bounce back, but alas. Now he's back down to square one. Zell's being cleaned up. Yeah, that was a big move for YoungYakov, and now the onus is on Shameless. Now he's pretty all in. Shameless is pretty committed with this push. We need to get damage up. We need to shut down a base. Deny the gold. The Lings are coming in. They deny the Northern Nexus once again. Busting into the mineral line. Probes are falling. And Shameless cannot turn around. Not anymore. We have to commit. We have to send it. But there are lurkers waiting for him. Vipers as well. Decent feedbacks. We have one Viper left with energy. Lurkers are in position. Zell run by doing quite a lot actually. Towards the south, getting a lot of workers. Shameless can still take this. He needs the perfect fight though. Needs to somehow catch these lurkers. We're gonna be committing. Big spine shots going off, but we do brute force our way through. Yeah, the Vipers were not there. A big chunk of lurkers fall. But YoungYakov is remaxing. He's remaxing with Link Hydra. Vipers gathering energy. Again, we need to pick away at these Immortals and Archons, one after another. But YoungYakov needs time to gather that energy here. Another Immortal gets picked up. Not bad. Another Immortal goes down. We saw those Swarm Hosts as well. I keep forgetting about them. But we do have that Locust Wave available. Zealot's headed for the gold. Catching, almost another lurker. Good storm, feedbacks as well. Oof. Yes, every Viper goes down. At the same time, Zealots, they get on top of those Swarm Hosts, finally. Yeah, Swarm Hosts are chased out. We bust into the middle line. Drones are falling. Shameless. He's pulling this off. We spoke about it. He needed to shut down the gold, but he shuts down the center base, the southern base, and the gold as well. And even some of these Swarm Hosts. Hydras will clean this up, but again, Zealot's trading for gas. Trading with Hydras. Shameless taking this center base as his new fifth. Still a very tense game. Now, I believe we haven't made any more Vipers. Yeah, 0 Vipers here for YoungYakov. Lurkers trying to come in from behind. The Locust Wave as well. Distract the army. 1 High Templar goes down. We're down to 3. 3 High Templar left. Lurkers, yeah, cutting off the army. Collapsing on top of this. And it looks like YoungYakov has done it. He cleans up the Immortals, cleans up the Archons. It just is not enough Protoss here to support. GG gets called, and YoungYakov takes the series 2-0, advancing on to the grand finals. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations. Congratulations here to YoungYakov for taking the series, for advancing on to those finals. Well, this was a very, very close game. It was very, very intense as well, very back and forth. YoungYakov, for the most part, had control of the game, but there were some key moments where Shameless was clawing his way back in, was able to trade very efficiently. There were moments where he caught lurkers, where he caught Hydras, where he was able to out-trade YoungYakov despite the circumstances. So very impressive fights there by Shameless, but it was still just too much to overcome. And YoungYakov also had his own moments as well. One of those strong moments, one of those key moments for YoungYakov was when he was able to wedge himself between the 5th and the 4th, catch the High Templar, and kill the base. Kill the Nexus, force Shameless all in, and make sure that his economy was never really something to be too concerned about. GG, well played. With that, congratulations. YoungYakov is our first finalist. And my condolences to Shameless, my condolences to Protoss players out there, as the final Protoss has been eliminated from the tournament. My condolences. And now it comes down to who will be our final Terran. Who is going to be our final Terran player? As we're getting ready for the lower semifinals, it's going to be between Honmono and Nicaract. Let's go. I am ready. I'm excited. I just need a moment.